Now entering Nerdist.com.
What made that funnier is I could see you inhaling for so long.
I have mouth horns.
Welcome to episode 1 of James Bonding.
With our guest, Paul F. Tompkins.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Paul F. Tompkins, a stand-up comedian and also film lover.
The only two criteria for guesting on our podcast.
Right?
You've met both.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure
Are you done?
rewatch
This is
Dr.
over?
No.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
No, the pleasure of being here has just begun, my friends.
But
Let me do some horse. Bob Shook.
all right.
We did it.
Welcome, Paul. Thank you for being here. You said that like there was some hesitation in how much pleasure you took in rewatching the first James Bond movie.
I will say I have not seen it in probably more than a decade,
Uh-huh.
right? And I would say that my takeaway from it is that movie making has changed.
Also, how we treat women has changed.
Well, barely, but the at one point I watched it with Matt last night, and at one point Matt noted that this is one of the shortest Bond movies, and I said, "Really?" Because I could not believe it. Just the pacing of it is so slow, and you can sort of see the stuff that just hadn't been invented yet.
Right.
Like there's a scene where Bond. I don't want to talk too out of sequence if we're gonna
No,
go through
we have if anything, we have established no ground rules.
Fantastic.
for this thing.
There's a scene where Bond is he's leaving his bungalow and he's going to guard against. He's going to set little sort of traps for people to fall into in case, so he'll know that somebody's been there.
Yeah.
So he puts dust on his
On
briefcase handles.
Yep.
He puts a hair across the closet door.
Which my dad did when I was a child at a hotel on a safe in the hotel. And I was so impressed by this amazing thing of this is how you'll know that it wasn't until years later where I saw Dr. No and I was like, oh, come on, Dad. You're just
He
fucking
absolutely
ripped
got it from
off.
Dr. No, right? Yeah.
That's the only place to get it from.
Yeah.
Unless some
But
special army
also-
training I don't know about. Where they just
He was
say,
just doing that because of Dr. No, not because
I
it was
hope
going to
so.
really tell him anything. If
Well,
your
he
safe
would
is
say-
busted into, your safe is busted into.
well, I think it
Right.
was, we were there for a few days and he wanted to know that he could eventually put something in the safe, I think.
Oh, so before he put anything in the safe, he put the hair on there.
Because like
Yes.
a maid or something could come in.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Let's all do it.
Major coods to your dad.
Coods.
Coods to the pop.
Coots, Papa Myra. But so we see him do all these things in real time. And nowadays that would be a quick montage,
Sure.
Of this, that, the other thing.
Yep.
So you'd get the idea
Yep.
like, oh, this guy's clever, but they just had time to burn back
Yeah.
then.
Oh, did
Yeah.
they ever?
Everyone sitting there in the theater smoking cigarettes is like, this guy he's sharp.
And when you say the pacing is slow, quite literally, because many scenes are just about him pacing from one place to the next through a hotel lobby.
It's all about
His
he's
personal
walking,
pacing is
There's
slower
a lot
than it
of
should
travel
be.
time.
Yeah,
a lot of
a
travel.
lot of shoe leather in this film.
time.
But you do kind of get the impression that they were sort of going for, let's make this a sort of vacation log with a spy in it.
Yeah, detective.
Well, I also think that everything about it was so it was uncharted territory.
Right.
It was like this sort of. It's weird to think that this kind of invented the action movie in a way, right? Which I guess it kind of did.
It really
right?
did, yeah.
That it invented this sort of action thriller, and there's like nobody had ever seen anything like this before. So. The idea that he's going to put the hair on the door and he's going to put the powder on this is all very exciting.
Yeah.
Airports were
I see.
exciting.
Airport, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
A boat.
Yeah.
A boat pulling into a port.
It's amazing.
Look at the blue water, and there's all this. It's like Technicolor and everything is it's all very new and very exciting,
Yeah.
and I get that, but it's so crazy to watch it from a modern perspective of like, my God, he's still walking over there? Yes. He's still walking.
Oh my God, the man arrives at the airport, and though there was no security like there is today, it takes him longer to get through that airport than it does for me to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It was insane. And just the holding on the... I've seen more bad Sean Connery driving in this movie. Like the car chase, he moves the wheel so much so that he would have done like a 920. Like he would have gone.
Or at the very least thrown up.
Yeah.
Right? Just made himself sick.
At the very
He
least.
would have been
wobbling.
off that cliff. We talked about this last night, that as any kind of performer, I would much rather do an emotional crying scene or a sex scene or both at the same time than have to do a rear projection driving scene, because that seems like some of the hardest thing to
Did
do.
you know?
Tell me more about this sad, sexy movie you're in,
Well, it's
where
called,
people are crying and having sex.
It's called 9 3/4 weeks.
It's an excellent
That's all I
sequel.
want to say.
The speaking of projection, did you notice? First time I noticed it was last night on the Blu-ray. The scene with the spider. Mm-hmm. It's just
Tarantula.
yeah. The tarantula is just. They shot the tarantula crawling on a projected film of Sean Connery laying in bed.
No, that's not true.
What did they do?
Oh my God, you guys.
Buckle up your sit-downs and take a real load of this, okay? What they did, honestly...
Rewatch it.
No, I watched the commentary today.
I didn't know this was going to happen, you guys.
They put a pane of glass and built a sideways room so that he could lie down, and the side wall of the hotel was actually the floor, so that the tarantula could...
Oh, my way was much easier.
I know.
Oh, absolutely. But you can see his arm ever so slightly up against the glass.
yeah.
And it's not bad.
No, it's pretty good.
for what they did. But then we were also talking like tarantulas are not really lethal
Right.
in that way.
Right.
Well, they really couldn't have. And also, I think with the movies, they can they were way less sensitive about animals back then.
Yeah,
they could have just ripped out whatever would have killed anyone.
Plus, what a circuitous route to kill somebody.
Yes.
The guy has to go to an island, be given a tarantula in a nice little travel cage that looks like a lantern,
Yeah.
and go back on a boat and then just put it in his room and hope that it's going to get him. Same thing with the Live and Let Die.
Is the idea that the listening audience will have perhaps watched this
Yeah,
recently?
we explain up top if you want
Okay.
to really enjoy this, sort of
Yeah.
watch it right
Yes, and these
beforehand.
movies are all
Yeah.
readily available
Yeah,
various
yeah,
places.
yeah.
But yeah, that plan, Dr. No's plan, he's very unhappy.
Okay.
Very unhappy.
Okay.
Tells his minion, you take this spider, you go to his hotel room,
It's Jim, the spider.
wait
This
till-
is my favorite.
take
Don't
your-
let anything happen to him.
wait till he's asleep, and then somehow get the spider under his covers. Why were we spared that?
I would argue that plan to deal with James Bond is well thought out, much more so than his actual plan, which I still don't know what his ultimate goal was.
His ultimate goal is to disrupt American rockets.
For what?
To embarrass them because they turned down their shot at Dr. No.
That's
Is
true.
that really his
Yeah,
plan?
He wants to.
Yeah.
That really, honestly, that does seem to be what it is. Is
It
that
is.
East and West both turned him down? So
Yeah.
he's like, "Well, I'm just going to make you guys look like jerks."
That's the whole thing behind Spectre, though. All they want to do is disrupt both sides. They're all bitter and they want extortion and revenge. And
Yeah.
what is the revenge? So what is it?
Oh, that because it's all in the
Yeah,
acronym.
it's all in the acronym.
Special. What is it? We should know this.
Special punishments for real
Wait, where'd you get the 4?
eggheads. Peepoos,
Hang on.
rageaholics.
Special executive.
Spectre, Special Executive for Counterintelligence Terrorism, Revenge, and Extortion.
Yeah.
That is the clunkiest acronym. It really doesn't work. It falls apart several times
It's the
before
worst
it's over.
Falls apart with the first word because we're taking 2 letters from the first word.
It's the worst.
take the SP from special, add in executive.
I'm listening.
The word for is in there, but don't capitalize it. But put that out of your mind. Revenge.
Yes, okay.
Quick question.
yes,
Are we
I'm
doing,
almost done.
Are we doing English spelling or American?
Let's go English,
All right.
unless we run into a problem. I'm just about there.
Okay.
What am I up to?
I believe
C? Did I get to
had just
C?
agreed on intelligence.
Oh.
You're not
No,
reverse
had we?
engineering this in any way, are you?
No,
this has just
certainly not.
happened by chance.
No.
Okay, then go
Inspiration
ahead.
came to me in the bath.
You're
Please.
positive this isn't a word you found intriguing and then thought of an acronym.
It's a happy coincidence, let's say.
And you're Ernst Stavro Blofeld?
Yes.
I do remember you buying all those signs that said Spectre about 10 years ago.
Look, fellas,
Spectra.
can I be honest with you?
Yes.
I've spent all the money.
What?
Yes.
Well, we better start extorting.
On shots for my cat.
Well, that's it. I'm going to my own island and I'm going to disrupt some rockets.
The real enemy here is feline AIDS.
I will say that it's a bit of a lighter touch than we're accustomed to in modern times with the weird stuff about Dr. No, like his crazy strong hands.
Yeah.
They don't do it too much. It's like just a little bit, so you feel like, oh, this guy's a weird dude.
But they never say why.
I kind of like that. Well,
I
he's
like
dealing
that
with the radiation.
He says it's a misfortune.
Yes.
I can't shake hands. A misfortune.
Also,
What? The end.
Also, I love that his crazy strong metal breaking hands cannot grip a single pole when he's being.
That's the downfall.
This metal can't grip other metal.
But he has no problem with a dainty cigarette earlier in a scene.
Yeah.
I mean, there's clearly he can control it thoroughly because he breaks the statue.
Yeah.
And also handles a cigarette and can eat no problem.
But now, the eating did seem a little laborious, to be fair. This movie at the time was very well received, right? It was a gigantic hit, and I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, how was it received critically?
Oh, I think pretty positively.
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody expected a Bond movie to be fluff.
Right.
What's fascinating
It was
to
just
me
gonna be
is
fun.
The movie didn't it cost over $1 million to make?
I think it was $1 million.
It was
The budget was
$1
$1
million.
million
$1
straight
million
up,
that
which
movie
later is just the budget alone for the volcanic island in You Only Live Twice.
Right.
Just the set.
Wow.
Yeah.
They really figured out where to spend their money.
Yeah. Put it on the screen. That was Cubby Broccoli's motto. Put it
Cubby
on the screen.
Mockley.
Cubby Mockley.
I'm Cubby Mockley. Your movies are dumb.
Put it on the screen. Please don't.
His childhood nemesis, Cubby Mockley.
Look who's here, Cubby.
Oh, guys.
I followed you to the end of the earth. No.
Please don't switch around my name. It's not. It's an acronym. It takes too long, though. I don't want to go into it.
All right, so let's sort of talk about this as
a family.
as the jumping off point. Yes, please, as a family together, as the jumping off point for James Bond.
All right.
So already off the bat, we're establishing the gun barrel opening. Not Sean Connery.
Bob Simmons, the stunt
Which
man.
I did not know
Really?
until last night. Yeah, I had no idea that was not always the actor
Yeah.
portraying James
For the
Bond.
first 3 movies, I
Yeah.
think. They don't even bother to change it until
Yeah.
Thunderball.
Yeah. Then they were
Why?
finally like, "Can you do this now?"
But
Yeah.
what I mean, I cannot imagine what circumstances prevented them from getting this very simple shot of Sean Connery walking. God knows he's proven he can walk on film. But just to jump slightly to the left and point a gun at the screen and then just stand there.
With the best of them.
I can imagine exactly. And it goes, Sean, do you mind coming in? We just need to do a pickup shot. No, I really don't think I should.
Yes, I do mind.
Is there money involved?
No.
Well, then go fuck yourself.
But even then, like, he was nobody, right? This was his first big thing.
Yeah, but
Darby O'Gill and the Little People aside.
Thank you.
That's the movie that got him the job, first of
Right.
all. But I was reading about this last night, researching for this podcast, and he made a stink about the money he was getting for Dr. No. He came in and he hammered his fist on the desk and admitted later that he was putting on a show, but he was always very concerned about money, and that's why they ended up having a falling out.
Wow, so he must have known. He was smart enough to know this is going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, or at the very least, if this is a big thing,
He
I
didn't
want to
think
be
it
ready.
was. He didn't think it was going to.
Here's
Oh.
the sort of the crux, and where I sort of fall into Connery's camp on this whole thing is.
Let's get into that Connery crux.
Let's get in it. He wanted to be compensated as James Bond grew and grew and grew.
Sure.
His contract stayed the same.
Yeah.
So the producers would always renegotiate their own contracts with the studio. So they would end up getting more and more money.
Right.
And they would never bother compensating Sean Connery.
So insane.
Which is,
It is.
just like I can justifiably I see. Yeah, go ahead. Leave. Just go.
Did you ever see the clip when he went on Carson and
Yes.
he was publicizing Never Say Never Again, I think, and Carson says, so who's the bad guy? And he goes, Cubby Broccoli.
Yeah, no, he said, "Who's your favorite Bond
Oh,
villain?"
villain. That's right. Yeah.
Cubby Broccoli. Just like way inside baseball for that audience, I'm sure.
Everybody was
Yeah.
drunk.
So and we get the first semblance of a Bond title sequence with silhouettes of women dancing.
And awkward music transitions.
Yeah. And it's kind of more like an overture. You know,
is.
It doesn't have because it starts out with the
Entr'acte.
iconic theme. And having watched so many of these movies, you're sort of prepared for it to be, these images, over that theme playing, and then it very abruptly segues into this island music, people dancing, and then it segues again into the silhouettes of the three blind guys and this sort of island version of Three Blind Mice.
Which is one of them is a dentist on the island. One of those Three Blind Mice guys. He's the
Now,
dentist.
honey, how do we know that?
Well, I'll tell you. We watched the documentary last night.
This is after I left.
Yes, and also they
What time
explain.
was
They
this? Because he texted me at 11:50 saying that he had watched it.
I think I left at 10.
I don't know, but they
something like that?
explain that noise in the air vents. What? We were watching the movie, and when Bond is climbing through the air vents in Dr. No's island, at some point there's this inexplicable laser twang. It just goes, and
And he looks around and then nothing happens.
yeah, and apparently the sound guy, he's like, back then you there was no libraries, you had to go out and find it. So I found this and I wanted to put it in. Basically, is what it was. That's what that boils down to.
So he heard a sound in life that he liked,
Yeah,
These should be in a film.
arbitrarily put it in a movie.
Ooh, it looks like it goes in those tunnels.
The tunnel.
what's on the other side of those tunnels?
Another
lasers.
thing that's very familiar to us now is crawling through air ducts.
Yeah,
sure.
And so that happens in this movie, and I'm sure it was not a thing that people had seen a million times, but it seems like a spy thing to do. I'm going to crawl. the air vent.
Very spy thing to
For
do.
the first time, though, I was watching a scene like this, and it made me uncomfortable because it seemed because I realized he doesn't know where he's going.
Right.
He's just crawling around in there.
Right.
What is he doing?
Right.
And then when the water rushes through, and his big plan to deal with that is to just log on and stick my face right where the water is rushing.
and down where the water would go into his nose.
Yeah,
not even
exactly.
the opposite way.
Yeah, it's not facing the opposite.
Yeah.
It's not going to be washing over
No.
him. It's going to right into his nostrils. And then he just goes down. He just sees, I will just go down there, and it's making me really anxious. You don't know where you are.
I thought the same. I thought the same thing last night when I was watching it. I was just like, "There's one way out of this, which is through this tunnel situation." You don't know where you're. Why down though? That's
Yeah.
my question.
Yeah.
Why down?
Yeah.
I feel like up would be the way to go.
Yeah.
because there's always going to be air somewhere.
Did he even try the door?
I don't think he did.
He didn't, right?
Well,
That's
it
the one
was a
thing they don't show
jail
us.
cell.
The one thing they don't show us. It's him trying
Super
the
spy
exit.
trying to figure out how the door works.
That was kind of alarming, though. I forgot about that crazy shock he
It's
gets.
huge.
And gets
It's
blown
scary.
onto the
yeah.
ground.
Yeah, that
yeah.
must have thrilled 1962 audiences.
God,
That
yeah.
tarantulas and
And when he hits it with his shoe, I'm like, that's still live wire.
Well, when
and
he climbs-
just does no bother.
when he climbs out the other end, there's just that's probably still live as well.
Nope.
Nope. Oh.
All you have to do is knock it out of its frame, and
Well,
then
if
you're
you,
fine.
there's a particular shoe. If you hit it with that shoe, it's
I want to talk a little bit about this opening sequence, though.
Yes.
Because originally there's this song that was written for this movie all throughout the movie, Underneath the Mango Tree.
Underneath the
You
mango tree,
my honey and
me,
me, by the moon.
we all trailed off.
I think I mentioned this last night, that Monty Norman, when he wrote it, put this lyric in, "We make boulaloop soon." He was told that meant making love. It was Jamaican slang for making love, but then had never had it. Everybody he's ever said to it in Jamaica is like, no, I've never heard of that, and he thinks someone was pulling his leg when it got into the song.
Or they're being very protective of their secret term.
Maybe.
No one should have told Monty Norman.
But that was going to be the theme song for the movie. That was going to play under the credits. That's what Harry Saltzman wanted.
Which I would have been okay with.
It's a little dainty.
Well, they immediately it goes to who does it? Matt Berry from Russia with Love.
Oh, Matt Monroe.
Matt Monroe,
Yeah.
yeah, from Russia
Yeah.
with Love, which is very sort of like
But at least that's kind of croony or something. But then
It's got drama to it.
yeah.
yeah.
As opposed
Yeah.
to Underneath the Mango Tree.
So Monty Norman was developing the James Bond theme, and he took it from an old melody from an old musical called A House for Mr. Biswas.
Oh, yeah.
And the lyrics Do you know it? It goes.
Oh, I'm familiar. Yeah.
I was born with this unlucky sneeze, and
I was born
Yeah.
under the sign. Yeah, like it's talking about born under a bad sign.
yeah,
Right?
And he can't stop sneezing.
Yeah.
and it goes really slow like that, and he just had that melody, and you can listen to it on YouTube. It's got sitar behind it. And that's all he gave to John Barry. And
Yeah.
John Barry fleshed out the rest. And that's why there was a controversy about who wrote that.
Well, I think Monty Norman wrote
He
it.
wrote it, but
the
but-
arrangement is beautiful. It's great.
But I would say that arrangement is as pivotal as that melody, because that that guitar. And,
Why couldn't it have been a collaboration?
because they didn't do that in the 60s. Okay, so we go Three Blind Mice. The most two-dimensional looking books I've ever seen in my life are removed, and the panel drops down to reveal a radio.
oh, yeah.
This is when she's opening. But it's like, I could not even, like, even if you... I've seen more three-dimensional things in, like, a Peanuts cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, reading a Peanuts newspaper cartoon, I've seen more three-dimensional books.
I think
These books would not fool a roadrunner.
that was the thinking, though, that an enemy would see it and go, no, that's too obvious. I'm not even going to try that. That's obviously
What?
just...
No one would put a hair across the door. That whole workstation was very shabby and rickety.
Yeah, because you couldn't lean on that thing.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Well, you're not here to lean. You're here to do spy business.
If you got time to lean,
you got
get time to spy clean.
There was another one where it's so laborious. Like we see every process of sending the message. Like, yes, I'll hear that over, and then let's get a close up of her clicking the switch to send, and then she does it, and then she listens for a little bit,
And then it cuts to like a library in Silver Lake full of people that look like hipsters.
Yeah.
And their big clue that something has gone wrong over in Jamaica, because of course there are no cell phones over there. I don't even think anyone, they just try them on the radio. No one tries to call the house. I feel like nobody tries to call.
No.
It's long distance. So we are then propelled into a sort of a whodunit or a why done it, and that's the sort of the crux of what gets James Bond over there.
Yeah.
Now we meet James Bond.
The greatest introduction to a movie character ever.
It really holds up.
And also a bit of a parody from another movie I learned last night, too. What
He
was it?
learned so much without us.
I did. Oh, but I can't remember.
Why
The
did it go
director was referencing another film. I feel bad for the one listener out there that knows this, that's screaming into his earbuds the name.
Well, he shouldn't scream into the earbuds.
Well, I mean,
I feel
it doesn't
bad for him
work.
for that reason. He has
Your
a sickness.
microphone.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he's
Well,
a
he
problem.
can't hear us talk about him now.
Yeah,
He's
no, he's
screaming
yelling.
in the
He's
earbuds,
yelling. So,
what a weirdo.
so that itself is a reference to another scene.
Yeah.
But the thing that's fascinating, don't worry about it, that's the theater downstairs, everybody. So that's, you'll hear some sound bleed through. Get over it.
Katie's leaving our Miss Moneypenny.
Bye, Katie. Okay, so the game he is playing is Baccarat.
Mm-hmm.
The goal of Baccarat, from my understanding, is to get as close to 19 as possible.
No, it's close to 9.
No idea.
9, as close
Yeah.
to 9
Oh,
as
okay.
possible.
That's helpful to
Yeah.
know.
Why
go.
does he keep winning every time he gets 19?
Because you can. There's a certain point where you can.
Do wheat bonk. This is all they're saying.
Sweetie.
Bonk.
Bunk. Sweetie. Don't call me sweetie.
May I say now, at this juncture, I hate any kind of card game in a movie that is depending on my knowledge of the card game. Poker, I don't know poker really, and it's like anytime that's in any movie where they like lay cards down on a table and you're supposed to be like,
Be aware.
hooray, or oh no, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel.
Evoke something. But oh god, I had no clue how to play that game or anything like
There's
that.
a great 2-page primer on Baccarat in Casino Royale. You can just read the 2 pages and it tells you everything you need to know.
Well, all right, I can't
Thanks,
wait
everybody.
to do that before I die.
Paul, you want to go read with me?
Yeah, let's go read that real
we're gonna
quick.
read that, and we'll be back, Matt.
Guys, it's just me, and I'm going to do a little bit more low-energy monotone talk.
Couple of things. So we meet Sylvia Trench, who is the only, as far as I'm concerned, the only Bond girl to repeat.
Yeah, and she was originally supposed to go for 6 films.
Oh wow!
Because Lois Maxwell, who played Moneypenny, was given the choice, play Sylvia Trench or Moneypenny. and she chose to do Moneypenny.
I love how much information you have.
But now, do we know why she chose that? Because she knew Moneypenny would definitely be a part of this universe for longer?
Yeah, she. I think she also. This is just my thinking.
Sure.
I think she probably. I don't know. Sylvia Trench is just kind of more of a femme fatale in Moneypenny. She was a sweet sort of woman. I think she knew her type or something.
Is Sylvia Trench the cleanest James Bond girl name or the dirtiest James Bond girl name?
I never put any kind of double entendre in that.
It's a weird name to give a lady.
Yeah, if you're
Or
going
anyone really, but Trench is like,
Yes!
what?
Oh my God,
Why
I
would you
never
name,
put
why
that
would you
together.
name, why would you name an attractive female character Trench?
that outdoes every Bond girl double entendre.
Over Goodhead.
Yes, because Trench.
I suppose Goodhead, there is no thought to that.
Yeah,
You
that's
understand immediately what it is.
But I don't even know
Trench,
if they were
if you think
intending
about
that.
it, it's the most misogynist name ever.
Can I also say I'm sorry that I said it, and I'm sorry I thought it.
Yeah. Ugh.
We just found a lot about your soul.
I
right
think
now.
so. Please cut this out.
Done. Well, we forgot to cut that out. So here's the. So Sylvia Trench, we meet Sylvia Trench. James Bond, I don't know what the stakes are in this game, but the pile of money that man walks out of Le Cirque with
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah.
It's
Tiles, not even
tied.
chips.
It's tied money.
But they're all ones.
Are they all ones?
I think they're all
They're
ones.
ones tiles.
So the British pound system, they were still using paper ones at that point.
Right. Gigantic. They were gigantic bills.
Just ones. Because it looks like I sort of quickly looked, and when she buys in for another 1,000, it's 5 of those tiles.
That
So
doesn't.
it doesn't really help me because there's different color ones in
200.
there. Anyway, he walks out with a pile of money.
Oh, you don't
and
know the
just-
colors of tiles?
I don't understand.
Oh, you're missing a lot about this
I watched
movie.
on a black and white television.
I challenge you to a mahjong game. Speaking of which, we just saw Fred Durst playing backgammon at a restaurant.
Yeah. We kind of buried the lead, Paul.
Is this Cockney rhyming slang? I don't get any of that you just said.
We were side story, everyone. Fast forward 35 seconds, and you will no longer hear the story. Matt and I went over to Chibo, a restaurant across from Meltdown, and we sat down. We were having a nice dinner
Between
And-
podcasts.
Yeah,
Between podcast meal.
And to our right, I see a gentleman put a case on the table, and I'm like, "Oh, what's going on over here?" Case opens up. Backgammon table.
You're thinking, it's just a
I'm thinking
backgammon
like,
shark.
okay, well, he clears a table, says something to a waiter. All of a sudden, multiple tables are put together. Sits down. There's a girl there that's just crayoning. I'll call that. What's not drawing. It's
Oh,
drawing
yeah,
with-
because they have
you
those
know,
jars with the crayons in them.
It's waxing.
You
And
can-
she looked to be 24, maybe.
Yeah.
Very
Tops.
attractive young
Tops.
lady.
A lot of lip work.
Sits over there next to backgammon, empty table with a back. I'm like, who's gonna be sitting at this amazing table that features backgammon crayons?
We were
and this
expecting
girl?
Louis Jordan from Octopussy to come in.
And all of a sudden, I see a gentleman with a baseball hat that is too old to be wearing a baseball hat, and I say to Matt, "Is that Fred Durst?"
And I say to Matt, I believe it is.
Now, my question is for Matt. Was he wearing the baseball cap backwards, Fred Durst style?
I don't think he was.
No, he had it on forwards. He's grown up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's grown up a little bit.
Is that
since
his
we
little
last met him.
disguise? If I wear it backwards,
yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
recognize me.
Yeah.
This way, I can go out incognito.
But you just, I
He
walk
was
out
Sasha
there-
first.
Right. Didn't you feel a little dirty? You feel a little dirty after you see Fred Durst, and I don't know what it is.
But the disconnect of Fred Durst and backgammon.
Also, yeah, a child joined the table as well as another gentleman, and this appeared to me like Fred Durst family time, Fred Durst dinner with the family.
Maybe so.
However, he just sat on the other side of the table with that other gentleman, and they played backgammon during family time.
Look, everyone spends family time differently.
Yeah.
Fred Durst spends it at Chibo playing backgammon.
During my family time, I will sit at the table with my family at dinner, but I will face my chair the other way, and I'll eat my meal off my lap. But we're all together, and everyone loves it.
He does that sometimes too, to give the appearance that his head is backwards.
That's right. Yeah, I'll put my clothes on backwards.
That was the longest 35 seconds of my life.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, fast forwarders.
There's also a 2-minute button on Damcast. Believe me, I know. All right. So Sylvia Trench, we meet James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
The famous line is uttered, Bond, James Bond.
Yes.
The music cue happens. Appropriate time for the music cue, right? We'd all agree that's an appropriate
perfect time, Monty.
Great. We introduced James Bond. The next time
Uh-oh.
that music cue happens, he's walking through an airport.
Yeah.
He's just walking through an airport.
And isn't the next time he's walking through a hotel lobby?
Yes.
Yeah.
Checking his messages.
It's walking music. It's ambling.
People in the audience are saying, "Oh my God, could you imagine being in a hotel or that close to an airport?
What is that like? What is that like? He used a payphone.
He's just walking.
We got a message."
That to me that was a very interesting. But what I immediately what you see with Connery is sort of we haven't even gotten to the part where he gets his Walther PPK, but I think just the size of Sean Connery, just the size of him as a human being.
He's a big boy.
He's somehow lean though too. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, he's like I would liken him to a Hugh Jackman of our time.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like in peak physical condition. And I was saying to Matt Gorley last night, it's so weird to see him that young. I haven't seen him that young in a while, and he almost doesn't look like himself because we got so used to this sort of mid-period Sean Connery, and then the older Sean Connery is so familiar as well. But when you see him that young, it's like, oh my God, of course, he had to have been a young person at one point.
Yeah,
but he's still like. It's weird how young and old he looks at the.
Yeah,
at the
he
same
doesn't look.
time.
Was he 33 in this?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
It's what
I know.
Yeah, he looks simultaneously older and younger than that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very, it's wild. It's really wild to see him just like he's very vibrant and very like. You see why he got this job. He looks like this guy.
Yeah.
And
You know?
immediately walks into the office. He just sits down next to Monty Penny's lap, essentially, and just starts sweetly talking to her. And I'm like, holy shit, this guy is fucking charming.
Yeah.
Yeah, is like he's the most
easy to
charming
see.
person
It's
I've ever
easy
seen.
to see.
Like immediately, and then we meet our M, who will be our M up through Moonraker.
Moonraker,
correct?
yeah.
He is with us for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I love Bernard Lee. He's so he's there's something about him that's so English. I want to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's so like, but there's like different levels. Forgive me, anyone listening in the UK, but I feel like or you might agree with me. There are different levels of English people.
Sure.
Like there are different levels of English people. You have your Jeremy Clarksons, your Hugh Grants.
Well, if a country ever had a class
Yeah,
system.
it's almost as if they have a system of classes.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I don't think that's it. I really don't think that's it. I feel like there's just different types of English people. But Bernard Lee, to me, whenever I think of an English grandfather, that would be who I picture.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. He's got a pipe.
That line, it's 3 a.m. When do you sleep? Like,
I have vowed to just one day have a study with double quilted doors, leather quilted doors.
That's what made the end.
Two-ply. They're two-ply doors.
Oh,
That's what made the end of Skyfall so satisfying to me.
Yeah.
That door.
Yeah.
Oh, did that door make a
The door
reappearance?
returns.
Doors.
Oh, I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, they sort of reset everything.
I did not know.
That made that very gratifying. But Skyfall, of course, will be our next episode. Don't worry about it. We're moving from the front to the back.
Yeah,
We're
take it easy,
it's going
guys.
in,
Why is
going in.
everybody yelling?
We need to know. We need to know.
Stop yelling into your earbuds. Blood.
Oh dear.
That's what's happened to my ears. Oh my god.
For all your yelling.
World's greatest secret agent. All you need to do to break into his apartment, apparently, is be a woman.
He should have put a hair on his apartment.
he probably
know?
forgot.
Oh.
I mean, it's a very easy thing. If you get in the habit of putting a hair on your apartment, after a while, if you're in a rush, you might forget it because you feel like you already did it because you've done it so many times.
Then he just starts placing it at the center of the door.
It drops in the hallway. That was crazy. There's this long discussion with his boss about what kind of gun he can and cannot have, and how dangerous it is to have this other gun, and very in detailed discussion of the proper equipment for spying. He goes home. There's just a lady there.
Playing golf.
Yeah.
the line to insult Sean Connery's gun, Boothroyd, named after the guy who was as far as I'm concerned, the first internet commenter.
That's what we said last night.
That's exactly what Matt said last night.
No, that's. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
We gotta take a talk about this guy break.
The world's
because-
first internet commenter. This is a guy who was reading and enjoying the works of Ian Fleming,
I say this is shopping.
but he was not enjoying them fully.
What's this? Page 34, line 12. Words 4 through...
You'll see James Bond breaks out his Beretta. How do you feel about this?
A Beretta? I say, old boy. What do you mean?
So this gentleman, this
A Beretta?
what?
No, that's really wrong. What the devil? Crumpets over.
You got it, ladies' handbag.
I've spent all morning parting my moustache.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
For the listener, there's this guy, James Boothroyd.
Jeffrey
Boothroyd, who is a weapons expert. He's reading this book and he's saying, well, this type of guy would not carry that type of gun because X, Y, and Z. Writes to Ian Fleming and says, excuse me, but I don't think that your secret agent would be carrying a Beretta. And Ian Fleming says, oh, all right. And so they strike up a correspondence, right? And they start talking to each other. And then from that point on, James Bond, the character, carries the Walther PPK.
Yeah.
But we saw on... there's got to be a million editions of these movies, right?
Yeah.
So,
but this and the last one both have that.
oh, okay.
It's basically a normal special feature.
On the special feature of Dr. No, there's a visit with the actual Jeffrey Boothroyd.
It's like
where
5 minutes long.
Oh, it's
really
absolutely worth your time.
Yeah.
This guy is he's like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
He's got this thick, bushy mustache that is parted in the center.
So much so that there's a river of skin.
Yeah.
It's not even just parted. There's a gap. There's
He's
a divide.
got male pattern baldness on his upper lip.
He does.
And he's talking about these guns, and then at one point he demonstrates the kind of holster that you should have. You know, if you don't have a chamois leather because a gun could get caught on it and it wouldn't get out and blah blah blah. So he favors the rather than the shoulder holster, the stout leather, which is a Knox on it and it's very solid and it's not chamois leather at all. And he says, "I'll demonstrate how easily the gun can get out. I'll do a quick draw on you." So he's like looking at the camera, and he says, he does a quick draw where it is like. Oh my God!
We watched it like 4 or 5
I couldn't stop watching it. The look on his face. He puts this look of intensity on his face, and he goes for the gun, and he does like this little hop, where it's the slowest quick draw you've ever seen. And at one point, I drew my imaginary gun and shot him. It is absolutely worth seeking out. If you don't have the DVD, rent it.
It's got to be on
Just
YouTube.
order it from
Gotta be on
Netflix.
YouTube.
Order it
But
from
what
Netflix
you're
if you don't
forgetting
have-
to
yeah.
mention is that when he's talking about the chamois leather holster and the stout leather holster, he's got a holster drawer, and all of this is taking place in his fucking living room.
That's right.
So then he opens a drawer, and there's just literally a drawer full of random holsters, some on belts, some not.
Yeah, it's like a junk drawer.
This is what
He walks over to some kind of like credenza and says, "Oh yes, well I'll show you what it's like to shoot." He opens up this fine English Louis Couture credenza or something, and there is a target, just busted wood in there, and he's shooting things in his own living room. It's amazing.
He's insane.
Yeah.
He's an insane person.
This is, had YouTube been around in the 60s, you would be not robbed of millions of hours of this. Because I feel like that's what everybody was like. And
Yeah.
they all would have made
Oh
their
my
videos.
God! If that guy had been alive during, if YouTube had been around while that guy was alive, how many great videos would he have?
Oh, he'd
posted?
have a History Channel show.
He would be on Tosh more than Tosh.
Anyway, Jeffrey Boothroyd.
Here's
and
a
so,
shitty fat pun. I'm Tosh.
Fleming names Q after him. Major Boothroyd
Yes.
is named Q. The first guy in Dr. No isn't Desmond Llewellyn who plays Q, but
Right.
He's got that weird accent. I couldn't figure out
it's
where
like,
that guy was supposed to be from.
Welsh or something.
Like-
Anytime I don't know an
you
accent, I'm sure it's Welsh. It's Welsh or South Africa. But this is he not only abided this guy, but he named a character after him.
Which I think is exactly what happened to Gene Roddenberry and Geordie LaForge.
Really?
He got a letter from a handicap fan saying how much he loved Star Trek and he loved that in the future maybe his handicap wouldn't be so much of an issue and that he could probably maybe serve on the Enterprise. So Geordie LaForge was named after a guy named Geordie.
I did
who had
not
written
know
to him.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they gave him the handicap of being blind.
Now, see, that's a lovely story.
Right.
But I think that Ian Fleming was probably scared of this guy and all his guns.
Well, I say, old boy, how about I name a character after you? I'll do whatever you say. Yes, I suppose that'll do for now.
Kind of lost it at the end there.
I'm hungry. Make me a sandwich.
Oh, we were also talking about what it must be like to be married to this guy because he's so properly English, and he's just so regretful he couldn't be in the Boer Wars or something, and comes home and just if dinner's not on the table.
It's 6:01. Why isn't dinner on the table?
He seems like that guy, if I remember correctly, seems just old enough to have not been able to serve in World War II.
Yes.
Like he must have been so bummed out.
He probably missed both the Great War and World War II.
Like he probably is the kind of gentleman that would have sat on his roof with a rifle ready for any German plane that came
It's World War II, but he's wearing a doughboy World War I. He pulls a handkerchief out of his sleeve at one point.
To demonstrate how shitty the chamois leather.
Yeah.
I that confused me. We watched
'Cause
it
it
about
could
4 times.
snag.
I was like, what? Okay. But why don't you show us with the holster?
No, I just...
Like chamois leather, might as well be a handkerchief. Anyway, you wouldn't know gun stuff.
Wife,
Do what I say.
you're not as quick with meals as last night's wife.
Before I shot her.
With a Ruger 275.
This is the appropriate gun to shoot a woman.
That was a good Boothroyd detour, you guys.
All right. So we've James Bond's got his gun. James Bond's at the airport. James Bond arrives in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. Beautiful Jamaica. We see Hawaii Five-0 himself, Jack Lord.
Cat glass fever.
He is wearing the craziest sunglasses.
They're not crazy for a woman.
Well, honest to God, I think they're not. They go beyond just looking like they might be ladies' sunglasses. They are something other entirely. Like it was like a prototype sunglass that did not catch on. Right. They're so prominently on this guy's face when we first see him, and I'm sure people thought we are going to make a mint on these sunglasses, and then nobody wanted them because you look like you were an alien trying to pretend to be a human.
Here's Jack Lord's thought. I know what to do. I'm going to pick out the sunglasses myself. He's a spy. Don't want to see his face, right? Yeah, Jack, that's great. You might want to think about the. Nope.
Can I ask this?
Yes.
If you could find a pair of them, would you wear them?
Out?
Yes. Would you wear them out?
No.
They are too large. They are too
It's
large.
not even like I would.
The biggest I go is the Steve McQueen Thomas Crown Affair sunglasses. That is the biggest I will
I'll
go.
do some Lou Wassermans. But it's not that I'd be worried that I would be. Like, I'd be fine going out thinking, oh, these are eccentric. But there's just no question in today's world people go, well, he's just wearing women's sunglasses. I don't know why he's doing that.
Yeah.
Does he know? Maybe they would not think, oh, he's being really hip. They would think, oh, he just doesn't know.
You would expect the arm of the glasses would be curved up into the frame, like those little twirls.
Do you think that's what happened with Jack Lord?
Maybe.
He didn't realize he was
Maybe.
wearing women's sunglasses?
Maybe.
I
Maybe
hope
they
so
look
much.
really different from the back.
They are his prescription, so he never sees them as they.
Yeah, the only way he can get a good look at them is when they're on his face.
Yeah.
Who looks in the mirror with sunglasses?
No one. I mean, it's too dark inside.
Yeah.
Except if you're wearing mirrored sunglasses.
Next section. So here's
Can I
Felix
s-
Leiter.
Yeah.
They have some chat about
Felix
spy
Leiter.
stuff.
I think Jack Lord is my favorite Felix Leiter.
I was saying last night, I don't know what it is. I feel like he's
You didn't
too
enjoy him?
Jack Lord. He's walking around conscious of himself.
Kind of what I liked about it.
I get it.
I just enjoed seeing Jack Lord in a tropical setting for all of
It's fun, right?
just-
Yeah,
for a change.
Yeah, nice
change of pace.
Change. Gosh,
You didn't like it?
I don't mind him.
You're really
Really?
trying to be
You're-
See,
polite
here's the
here.
thing. I know he's supposed to be my favorite.
Is he
lighter.
though? Is that the? consensus?
Yeah.
All right.
But you know who my favorite.
But do you think
one
because of Hawaii Five-0, is that why people like him so much? Because they never see him in anything else?
was this before or after? This is before.
Oh, it's before.
Well
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, did people know him at this point?
I'm sure he had been in some things, but I don't think he was a name.
Yeah.
I found out from a friend of mine who went to one of those autograph expos like that they have at the Beverly Garland Hotel.
Ironically, right?
No, I think he was going there for, I forget what he was going there. But I mean, there's a million different things that you can get
Yeah.
there. And there was one booth that had old contracts, old Hollywood
Oh, my
contracts.
God.
And he saw Jack Lord's contract for the first season of Hawaii Five-0. He got paid $1,000 a week.
Which is exactly what Harrison Ford got for Star Wars.
Oh,
We were
really?
just talking about this at dinner over
Because I
backgammon.
just interviewed Harrison Ford with Nerdist. It hasn't
Wow.
come out yet, and I said to Harrison Ford, I said, "Wow, $1,000. That's pretty good. That's pretty good money for the '70s." And he just looked at me like I was the most insane person in the world. So I immediately just went, "Yeah, but like $1,000 in the '70s, like $1 billion, right?" Then he laughed and then said, "You weren't alive then," and went back to being very dry.
Now, my first show business job was Mr. Show, my first big job, and I made just shy of $1,000 a week, and I could not believe it.
Oh God, yeah.
Like that was so. Hey, Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you were making people bookshelves,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's nothing to
I
sneeze
still
at.
feel like there is a majority of the population that would be thrilled
to this day.
with $52,000 a year.
I wouldn't say no to it now.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
How much we getting for this?
It's a podcast, so we'll lose money.
I see.
We've all already lost money on this.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're actually just.
Gas is expensive.
It's coming out. It's just coming out everywhere.
Fair enough.
Somewhere, Scott Aukerman gets a check. I don't know how it happened. Okay.
Well, then yes.
Say this is an edit point. I have about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Go.
And then I
All
gotta
right.
go.
All right. Is there
Stop.
anything you have? Okay. So Paul has to run. Paul's
Well,
gonna-
no. I do have 15 minutes, but I didn't want to. I know we're still
let's
at the
talk
very
to
early
you.
stages of the movie.
Let's talk to you about what is there anything in particular with this movie that you would like to point out, or a sequence in which you would like to go, this was ridiculous.
My first question was: is this the first time, or is this the only time James Bond ever sings in a James Bond movie?
That's right.
Yes.
And we couldn't think of another time.
Oh, I
that-
can't imagine him ever doing that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got it out of the way early.
Yeah.
He whistles, but that's all I can think.
Yes.
He whistles that code in, is it Moonraker?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say this. Very nice singing voice.
Yeah,
Sean
he's
Connery.
not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
I would
And
listen.
Ursula Andress, too, if it were her voice.
Used up by Glenn Close. Was that not her singing?
It was not her voice the entire movie.
No. Oh, I didn't know that. The whole time she was
She's
overdubbed.
most of the Bond girls
Almost
are dubbed.
everybody is dubbed.
Yeah,
in-
There's
in
a, I
James Bond
did notice that. Yeah. There's a lot of
My
a lot.
favorite
Goldfinger,
dubbing.
Gert Frobe is not.
That
Right.
one I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite dubbing in all of the James Bond movies.
Lana Wood is dubbed.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I knew that would break
That's
your heart
insane.
specifically.
That-
Sorry,
that is
go ahead.
Terrible. Sorry, I have to think about this
Yeah.
for a moment.
Oh, boy.
But my favorite dubbing in the history of James Bond movies is the captain or leader of that team on the boat.
Yes.
He's got the whitest voice possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's basically Edward G. Robinson.
Also, at the end, when he says, "Let's go," or "Move out," puts the megaphone down.
Yes.
Audio does not change
Yes, exactly.
whatsoever.
Exactly.
Whatsoever. Let's go.
We've machine gunned the beach. Nothing happened. All right, well, we'll be back and you'll get yours.
We're bringing a dog.
We'll be back with the dogs.
That the production value overall is like obviously there's way less fantastical stuff in this one the first time out than there will be later
Right.
on, and so you could see that they absolutely did the best with what they had, and things
They did.
were real. And like there's a scene where Bond is sitting talking to Quarrel when he first meets him, and he's just like covered in sweat. Like
Yeah.
it was clear, like
Yeah.
they're just like, we're not gonna mop. What are we gonna mop him down between each take? Just it's hot here. People will understand.
Quarrel, by the way, for me, and I even wrote this down, immediately the most likable character I have ever seen in my life.
Do you know what?
He's so charming.
He is. He starts out really charming and likable, but then as the movie goes on, they make him this sort of minstrel. You know, it's like
scaredy cat.
he gets progressively more cowardly as the
Yeah.
movie goes on.
And believes in mysticism or dragons, and
The fact that we hear about this dragon, and then Ursula Andress is like, yeah, there totally is a dragon, and then when we see the dragon,
Yes.
it's so obviously a vehicle of some kind with headlights, and you can see even in the dark. Well, that's paint. They've painted teeth on.
As
it.
a child, I when I first saw that movie, I got kind of excited that there was possibly going to be a dragon.
I'd forgotten that that's what it was, and I was like, "Oh, what is this going to be? This should be
Yeah.
really clever." And then when that's what it was, it's just like some all-terrain vehicle that shoots
Also,
fire.
nothing is shot at night. Everything is day for night.
Absolutely,
no doubt.
Hard shadows everywhere. There are cloud coverage in the night that would never exist in nature.
But I will say the as crazily cheap as it seems by today's standards for a movie of that size, right? The acting in it is largely pretty good.
Yeah.
Like
I would
everybody commits to everything they're doing. And you were talking about, Connery doing the rear projection acting. Everybody in the movie absolutely goes for it. You can't fault anyone. And everybody's pretty good, right?
Yeah, Joseph Wiseman was a theater actor.
Yeah, he was
think
really fun to watch.
I think he was very good.
Yeah.
I think there really is. You sort of see some sort of real trauma that happened to him, not other than his hands. I'm talking about the character of Dr.
But
No.
this
Like, there's
is
something
like a bigger thing that these movies have always been conscious of really good casting. Like putting good people. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Well,
yeah.
later it sort of got
That's
away
true.
from them a bit.
But also part of the reason this movie's so great is the acting, but the production design, even though they didn't have much money, but Ken Adam, oh my God, I'm
That
in
room,
love with that
room
man.
that Dent walks into,
That was an
with
afterthought.
That huge ceiling,
Yeah, it was
and
terrific.
that beautiful shadow.
That was an afterthought.
It's gorgeous.
I would have liked to have seen more stuff like that
Yeah.
in the movie of that, just that the disembodied voice of Dr. No
Yeah.
and so calm and here's what you're going to do and
Yeah.
go sit in that chair that's all the way over there and then go to that table that's all the way on the other side of the room. It really creates a mood and a sense of menace and you don't know what's going to happen. It's terrific.
Was there any part of you that when Ursula Andress and Sean Connery get taken and they end up in that hotel, essentially?
That's what we call
Was
it
there
a spa.
Any part of you that was like, it's not bad. It's not bad. I might just let him do what he's doing.
What is it, by the way? He's just making some rockets not go? Is that his
Yeah, no
plan?
one's dying, right?
Yeah, he just seems to be embarrassing people. He's
one's
like
dying.
Banksy.
So you're telling me this guy will not kill anyone unless they try to go on his property? I think you can talk me into staying here.
Also, the fact that he drinks this coffee and encourages her to drink this coffee. He's not as good at spying as you imagine James Bond is.
Although, was that really poison or delicious medicine that helped them rest up?
I did notice too that after Bond is asleep and Dr. No creepily lifts his
Yes.
covers to look at him or something.
Yes.
What? Yeah, that scene. What is that
Yeah, I
scene?
I think that's sort of just him going like, I need to see this man. I need to
It's
see this
great.
man.
It's
that got-
Yeah.
so weird and
Yeah.
unsettling. It's great.
Yeah.
But that they've put Bond and Honey Rider in separate beds.
Well, decency.
well, my house, my rules.
Keep up
When
appearances.
you're under my roof,
This will be your
I don't see any
room.
rings on any fingers.
We only just got your sizes last night.
Oh my God! Real line
Like,
from the movie. Real
this
line.
is the best fucking villain place in the world.
And
I want their sizes.
first thing,
Get jacket, also shirt, sleeve length, inseam, hat size unnecessary.
And remember, inseams, I want 1 inch on either side. 3 pairs of each pants.
no cuff unless there's pleats.
sizes first, nation secret second.
But yes, that the staff of that hotel. We go to a lot of hotels. We're around. I want to go there.
They're terrific.
It's
How-
like the W in Singapore. Like
we were wondering how much do they know about what this guy does?
Right.
Like what his whole
'cause
thing is.
they don't seem to have a stake in it.
Yeah,
They just have a job to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is treat these people like kings, just short of ever letting them go.
yeah.
Otherwise, what? They're out on the beach looking for shells
Yeah.
to sell for $50.
Provide the best service in the world. Like that really, I just wanted to be there.
Remember, I'll be reading the comment cards.
Would you stay here again, Mr. Bond?
Sorry, we missed you. You had the do not disturb sign on your door.
What if when he comes in and you don't see his face and just his hands, he's putting a little chocolate on the pillow?
He's got to be very careful. He doesn't crush it to bits.
How? All right, since we're essentially on the island now.
Yeah.
Favorite reaction shot of the movie: Ursula Andress reacting to James Bond needlessly murdering a man.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Needlessly.
Yeah.
Didn't have to. Nope. Didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
But her reaction shot.
But
What is she
then
looking at?
she's horrified by this, right? And she's like, "Why did you do that?" It's pretty obvious why I did it. And then later on, she tells a story about how she poisoned someone. Like, well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
These people were trying to kill us. They shot at us. They came back with dogs to sniff us out. Like, what do you think that guy? I'm gonna reason with him? Of course, I had to kill him.
You think he wasn't gonna rape both of us?
Yeah, you poisoned someone you just didn't like because you had an idea of what he was going to get up to.
But the reaction. I feel like they when they were cutting the film strip, they like started like 30 frames early.
What was
she
what
doesn't-
was
She
her
was
reaction?
warming up.
She just.
She does. Yeah. She does. One
But
of
there's just like a real long buildup of nothing.
Right.
Like just
Well,
her
she-
face.
I would say
they
she's
basically the
shocked.
direction was keep reacting and we'll take a slice of it. But
Yeah,
they went
Probably.
a little too long.
I
Yeah.
honestly, I would not blame her for this.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
blame,
you're probably
I would
right.
blame the
You're
editing.
probably right.
You're 100% correct.
Given how much walking we saw in this movie, I would
Right.
say that everything
Right.
could have been.
Well,
And yet
trimmed
this
down.
movie is heralded for its fast, brisk cutting and editing, cutting on movement, which you didn't do at that time, which
Yeah.
now
Wow.
is normal.
Yeah.
This movie, Peter Hunt, the editor, he set the tone for like basically the Bourne movies. It just took a while
Don't
to get there.
say that.
I'm saying
Oh, it took a while.
Come on.
I don't.
How about that harrowing directions giving scene? That was so fast paced.
I wrote that down. Literally every turn
it's not
to
only-
get from his hotel to her apartment is done. And then they show him driving and the
It's
turns.
literally show and tell. Show and tell.
Yeah,
at
he
the same
pulls
time.
into when he goes through that quarry or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and you think,
Yeah.
oh well, he's reached his destination. No,
No,
he's
no.
halfway there.
Because she's still talking.
Yeah,
She's still giving more directions.
And she's surprised to see him when he shows up because he's supposed to be dead. But who pointed out, was it James last night or you?
Oh, yeah, me,
all,
yeah.
All she had to do was at the end give him one wrong turn.
yeah. She just needed to get him to the murder point. She didn't need to actually get him all the way to her house.
Yeah.
Why? Why did she do that?
But also, this is a woman who comes out of the shower not wearing a terry cloth robe, but a terry cloth dress.
Right.
Did you notice that?
Right.
It's like a gown.
With
There's
It's
a
like
lot
with
of
a-
terry cloth in this movie.
With a zipper. With a zipper too much that
Yeah.
he unzips it and does the no hands things. And then there's a conscious, you can see the moment in James's head where I might as well fuck her. Like there's a moment
Yeah.
where
Oh,
yeah.
Sean Connery
Oh, yeah.
switches and goes like, meh.
And you know there is a moment in there that retains the sort of brutish flavor of James Bond from the books, right? Because in the book he's kind of a brute,
Yeah.
and like you see him be kind of a jerk to her.
Right.
It's like, I want
Right.
to do this. I don't care what you. I want to go out for dinner.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Who cares? You shut up. I'm calling a cab.
Yes.
You know, and it's weird that you start to think,
I was
oh,
thinking
he's,
Italian.
he's being very rude, and then you realize, well, she did try to kill him.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's fair.
Yeah.
This one's justified.
This one time.
Yeah.
Justified.
It's
It was
justified. So we from there we end up they go to Crab Key. Jack Lord leaves to get the Navy.
Jack Lord's
complaining the whole time.
Angry.
Complaining. Making fun of how much Quarrel has been drinking.
Yeah.
If the dragon comes, breathe on him. That's what Jack Lord says. to
Which would
Quarrel.
really just kill him as well.
Yeah. It would just blow up the island.
Yeah.
So, all right. I'm sorry, everybody. I wrote down what the gentleman says when he takes the megaphone away from himself.
Oh,
Full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead.
All right. So two white people playing Asian in this movie.
Yeah. At least one
Is
says
half
he's
Asian.
half Asian.
Right.
But the other one, there's no explanation for this
my
blue-eyed woman who has some false eyelashes on. She's supposed to be
She
an
has
Asian
these
lady.
like eyelid makeup appliances.
Yeah.
and
that
then
like pull. Yeah.
and then they have like they're pulling her skin back. Plus, there are Asian women in the Dr. No hotel.
Yeah.
That are doing such a fine job of
Yeah.
acting that I tried to book the hotel they were staying.
That's true. Because
Oh,
they're
hello,
so Asian.
W Singapore. Oh, you don't exist. Okay, so
I loved
yes.
their...
I wrote down for a supervillain, he is the most cautious with radiation.
Those...
Yeah.
The crazy suits everybody was wearing
Yeah.
with the weird flat top helmets.
Yep.
But then the that whole sequence with them going through the shower to get the radiation scrubbed off of them, that it's almost terrifying that people knew that little about how deadly radiation was. That the audience is supposed to say, "Oh, okay. Well, that was a close one. They almost got irradiated to death, but they scrubbed it off of them." So that's,
Because the first thing to do is go up to him with what amounts to like putting up a billboard with some glue.
except they got those
They
weird
just
brushes.
scrub them once on their clothes.
On their clothes, yeah.
And they don't even rinse off, and then they check
But then
them
they
again.
go, "Oh, the clothes are contaminated. We better get rid of them."
I think it went through. I think some seeped through the clothes.
I think. Honestly,
nuclear power was exciting back then.
I will say
the
this.
atomic age.
I think Dr. No, of all of the James Bond villains, I think he was the most...
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just think he was the most procedural,
Conscientious.
the most organized, if you
Oh,
will.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And hands-on. He was right there in the control room.
Oh, yeah.
running the
He
show.
had no one do anything for him.
Yeah, he was not in a tower giving orders.
He overcame his handicap. If anything, James Bond is the villain.
Well, also, James Bond's big plan once he infiltrates the reactor room or
You
whatever.
accidentally said plan.
Well, he gets in there. He gets the suit on. And then he just kind of looks around for a little bit.
grabs
Then
the
he
clipboard.
grabs a sheaf of papers, and then just goes and sort of stands by Dr. No until Dr. No says, "What are you doing here? Get over there." It's like, all right. And then he's there right near the danger
Danger.
lever.
the danger wheel. It's a danger
And
wheel.
the guy
danger wheel.
operating the danger wheel is inexplicably in a suit that is just puffed full of air. For some reason,
Yeah.
he needs
Well, that's
oxygen.
the
It's an opaque suit.
airflow, yeah.
You can see he's wearing a nice short sleeve shirt
Yeah.
and some
a lot
some
of powder
navy
blue.
dockers.
A lot of powder blue.
Probably like
powder
a
blue.
Lacoste situation.
Right. Yeah.
It's probably, but just the clear marking of danger.
Yeah.
Also,
You really can't miss it.
I also loved the signs that said what each person was checking on.
Yes. Yeah.
Weather.
Lunch sandwiches.
And whereas high tech was, those guys just had to yell across the room.
Yes.
Everything's good with weather.
Yeah. It's fine over here.
It's me. I'm waving.
Danger man.
Weather on the ones.
We're not in danger.
Pardon me. I didn't realize the danger wheel is turned up too high. Do you think he enjoys talking that way? Do you think because it's fun to do. Do you think
Oh,
it's fun
it
for him?
is.
Do you think he just says stuff into the mirror?
What do I
sound like when I say this? Hello. What
do I sound
like?
It's the most.
McPherson strut suspension.
He doesn't even attempt an English accent.
No,
know,
I will say this is the most he's attempted in his accent.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He's sort of like the Scottish really comes out sometimes, but he does for the most part. He tries to sound
Which
English,
is funny because if you ever rewatch Die Another Day, Pierce Brosnan sort of gives up and is just Irish. he
gives up
He's
in a
done.
few ways, yeah.
He's done, and he just starts Irishing.
Yeah.
That's what I'll call it.
J.D. Power and Associates.
3 years in a row.
Car and driver, 10 best
Step-
delish.
Step aside, Brian Unga.
How the stage got their names.
Swamp people.
Ice Road Truckers.
Punch Josh.
Duck Dynasty.
American Restoration.
We're almost there, you guys. Pawn Stars. Did you do that one?
I did. It's
What then?
storage wash.
Ancient Aliens.
Top Chef All Stars.
Season 5 of Celebrity Apprentice.
Sharknado.
I meant Season 7. Sorry.
Catfish, the TV show.
The Real World Road Rules Challenge.
Oh, we have a winner. The Real Housewives of San Diego.
There we go.
Is that it?
Did they do a San Diego?
They just did.
For Comic-Con?
For Comic.
The Real Housewives of Comic-Con?
Yeah.
How about that show?
So let's see. He defeats Dr. No.
And the movie ends. Boom.
Ruins
that
his
quickly.
plan.
Yeah, it
that
really
quickly.
does.
Oh, yeah.
They blow up the fort,
Not only that, but
get in a boat, over.
nobody who worked on that movie got credit. The credits.
No, that was, yeah.
Well, they're all in the beginning.
panels.
That's
there's
how
a
it
lot
always
of,
goes.
There's a lot of credits in the beginning. It is
Everything's in the
nowhere like it
beginning.
is today. Yeah.
No, everything's in the beginning.
Just,
But
it's
it did.
so-
They did establish another hallmark of the series, which would be Bond in some sort of mode of conveyance with a lady
Right. Right.
doing it. They're just doing it. It's like, hey, this boat is going to tow us to safety. Let's let the rope go.
No, we should fuck.
Let's have the most uncomfortable sex we could have on the bottom of this rowboat.
We could easily go back to, I don't know, a hotel,
In Jamaica.
the beach, the beach.
Yeah. Not to imagine, let's let go of the rope and maybe drift towards that horrible radiation cloud that has just been.
Oh no, that's like 70 feet away. That can't affect them.
I
They
also
took that back.
Why have my hands fallen off?
How, did you guys notice the?
A misfortune.
Did you guys notice when they get into the boat? There's two gentlemen in the boat already.
Yes.
And,
yes.
No.
and James
I didn't
Bond.
notice.
Yes.
James Bond has to dispense with them.
Yeah.
One excellent extra does not quite fall out of the boat the entire way.
Yeah.
And stays there until Sean Connery then goes, I better get him out.
Yeah. He knocks the one guy out. Like literally knocks him out of the boat.
Right.
Right. The other guy is just knocked unconscious. Then Sean Connery dumps him overboard. Like, oh, that guy's not awake.
He's a killer.
Yeah.
I better take care of this.
James wrote me an email today because we're talking about that.
James Bladen.
Yeah.
Not James Bond, you guys.
No.
He's not alive.
Jimmy Blades. We watched this movie.
Rewatch.
And there's this controversy over whether James Bond is too ruthless when he shoots Dent in the back in that room. He kills him once and then he shoots him again in the back.
Right.
But James made the point he's not licensed to defend himself, or like
Right. He can kill
He's
whomever he
licensed
chooses
to kill. He's an assassin.
when he chooses.
But the contention is that second shot, right? Does he really need to do that? He's already put him down, and we as the audience are conditioned to think, especially at that time, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
So then he shoots him again, and there's this horrible jerk, where
Yeah.
he reacts to the
But
to the second shot.
like betting that woman, this guy tried to kill him. He put a tarantula in his room.
But I would argue,
I'm not pro Dent. Believe
okay.
me.
Oh, okay.
I would argue though that there was still information to be culled from Dent
Oh,
before, because he asks,
Yeah, right.
"Who do you work for?"
Tons more.
Yeah, who do you work for? He won't answer him. I'm just going to kill you then.
Did you put that tarantula in my bed?
I can shoot you in the knees, but I won't.
I'm going to check you for tarantula print.
All right, we know you got to get out of here.
I do. I'm sorry.
Paul F. Tompkins, thank you for being our
Yeah.
first guest.
Guys, thank you. I hope I was a good one.
you were great. And we needed this because Dr. No, I feel like our spirited conversation in some ways makes this seem like a more exciting movie
Than it is, yeah.
Yeah, but we're going to have you back for Live and Let Die.
I would love to come back for Live and Let Die, which was my first Bond film that I ever saw.
One of my favorites, and we talked about that,
Yeah.
our birth year movies. Mine was Live and Let Die. What year were you born?
68.
Oh, so
So you were between
you
Sean
were-
Connery and George Lazenby.
I'm
You're
one of those.
You're on Her Majesty's Secret Service -1.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
we're no longer using the Gregorian calendar. We're just saying names of James Bond movies,
Sure.
and then plus or minusing a year.
Yeah,
Oh, God, I hope they keep making them.
Yeah. No, I was born in Octopussy. Sorry, guys.
yeah.
What year was James Bond born?
I guess he was born in Doctor No.
Well,
That's right.
if you're going by the cinema James Bond, that was 62, and I think he was supposed to be around 33. So you do the math, literally, because I can't.
Oh, he was born in 1929.
All right.
Wow.
There we go.
Okay.
Wow.
Paul,
We've done it.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We have James Bonded.
We have. We'll end everyone like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Download the next one.
Wait, do we need to say
Do we
anything
need to
else?
wrap it up? We can wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. You get out of here.
Go perform an hour of stand-up for people who think they're seeing Sarah Silverman.
That's right. Go disappoint some people initially, and then maybe win them over by the end.
Bye, Paul.
Thank you, guys.
Paul has acted like he's left, but he's secretly hiding in the room just to listen in.
It's very odd.
So
let's
do
do
we
a
wanna-
post-mortem. Let's
Yeah.
post-mortem this.
Okay. What do we want to talk about segment-wise? The villain, what he could have done?
Yeah. All right. Normally, our guest would participate in this segment.
Yeah.
Again, we are open to jingles.
Right.
If you want to send in a jingle, this segment is
Moody.
called What the Villain Could Have Done to Be Successful. Not the best named thing.
Those are great lyrics for a song, too.
Yeah, it's not going to rhyme. So so obviously Dr. No's plan, as we found out during the show, which I was still confused by, is just to get the Mercury rockets to tumble.
He wanted to be a nuisance.
Yeah. He just wanted to annoy the American government.
I don't think it would be as simple as him killing Bond, because that would have brought a lot of heat down on this area.
Oh, the Marines would have swarmed in. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So he's got to...
And he can't move up his timetable at all because he has to do it when the rocket is launching.
Right. So he kills Strangways in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's what sets all this in motion. What he's got to do is kill him but make it look like an accident.
I think even then, in the words of our great friend Glenn Fry, the heat is on. Even then.
I wasn't prepared for that at all. I can't refute a Glenn Fry. He had the smuggler's blues.
No, so I think what Dr. No, what can Dr. No do? I guess if he had built a better prison, he would have been successful. Because the rocket would have tumbled before the Jack Lords got there. I'm just calling it an army of Jack Lords. The Jack Lords.
Okay, yeah.
Who, by the way, are dressed exactly like you are right now.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
All of the Jack Lords on that boat are wearing jeans, some boat shoes, and the blue shirt, which is
right.
exactly what Matt Gorley decided to wear to our podcast.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You seem so sad about it.
No, I feel pretty good
I
about
think it
it.
looks great.
I look good.
We should mention
Yeah.
what your shirt says.
It says MV Disco Volante.
Look at that.
It's the only James Bond shirt I shouldn't feel bad about being a James Bond nerd on a James Bond podcast, but
No,
somehow I
own
do
it.
a little bit. Yeah.
Own it.
Yeah.
Own it.
It's what they wear on the Thunderball.
Listen, I have
The Disco
the
Volante.
Omega Seamaster that James Bond wore
Yeah.
from GoldenEye right on through Casino Royale.
You've got that money clip from
I also have the money clip from Quantum of Solace. I if I can find something James Bondian that he actually used, I will purchase it. What I won't do is buy the watches that Omega makes a special edition Skyfall watch, for
right,
instance.
yeah.
And what they have on them is instead of 7, it says 007. Which, if you're spending $7,000 on that,
Yeah.
you have too much money.
Get the 007 cologne if you're that concerned.
Oh,
with
get it? Get the shampoo? Get that. Okay, for the record, we're just going to do a little bit of statistic work here. For the record, the James Bond theme is cued. How many times do you think it was cued, man?
I'll say, including the opening titles?
Yep.
5.
Correct.
What? That was a
Exactly.
guess. I'm not
That
that.
is exactly right.
I'm not that
The
fantastic.
James Bond theme is cued 5 times. The most impressive thing that James Bond does when this is cued is...
Say his name.
Yes. Yes, I would have also accepted check for messages at the hotel lobby. That is the other answer I would have accepted.
Oh, I like this. I like that you
Yeah.
quiz me.
Yeah. Now, of course, James Bond personal killings.
Let me guess. Can I guess? Do you know? You have it written?
Oh, I don't have it written, but
Oh.
you can guess, and then I'll try and verify or deny you.
Well, he kills the chauffeur. You can't. How many people are in that car he runs off the road?
I don't know. I just
Yeah.
always assumed it was the 3 blind mice again.
And he kills probably numerous people on that island. when it blows up?
Don't talk about the island.
All right, I would say he's plus he kills.
You're saying he's
One of
got
those
at least
guards.
he's got at least 10
Yeah,
kills.
I would say yeah.
At least 10 kills under his
Yeah,
belt.
pretty bloody.
Pretty bloody. He drinks a medium dry vodka martini,
shaken, not stirred. Yeah.
which is the first James Bond martini.
And they drink Red Stripe beer in here.
Red Stripe, because they are in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And apparently, Red Stripe is actually in Jamaica.
Right, that's correct.
I had no idea until I saw this movie. The other fun thing about James Bond sort of becoming his own sort of... I don't even know. He's not even a character. James Bond is sort of like beyond
Icon.
a character. Yes, the iconography of James Bond is really all established in this movie.
Yeah. And
Like-
it's not blown out of proportion
Yeah.
like in later movies.
Everything about this man.
They drink champagne too, they do Dom Perignon.
Yes.
And that
He
guy
prefers-
pours it forever. 53.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a 55, right? Was it?
I think it was a 53, and he prefers the 52.
No, he
He prefers the 53?
I think
54.
Oh, God.
We just watched this 24 hours
but,
ago.
I mean, come on, we're not James Bond nerds.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he drinks the Dom Perignon. He's at the club, cigarettes galore.
Mm-hmm.
I love
yeah.
when he gets there to Dr. No's hotel, spa, and murder resort.
To the Ojai Valley
Yeah.
and
They offer him cigarettes, Turkish, American, and UK.
and what is he must choose Turkish. What
I
does
feel
he
like he
choose?
should. Yeah. Unless at the time, I guess, maybe American cigarettes were the best cigarettes.
Wow, who would have known?
Who knows? Who knows?
He beds 3 women ostensibly because I guess
Yeah.
he has to leave Sylvia Trench. Does he?
Oh, he's got to put it in her.
Yeah, well, he certainly does because he's with her the next movie.
Yeah.
In
In
a
from
boat.
Russia with love.
Yeah,
With his Bentley.
that's right.
Where's my Bentley?
Where's my Bentley?
Overall, I think this sets the tone and is personally my personal favorite movie to throw on. My personal favorite James Bond
Really?
movie to just
I'm
sort of sit
surprised.
back and let it go. It's the pacing of the movie that I find so comforting.
It's one of the ones I watch the least.
Really?
Yeah, because I find it to be a really solid film, but because it hasn't established any of the conventions and because it's not horrible,
Yeah.
like it's not great or horrible to me, and
I
so
really-
I don't find it.
I
excites
really,
me.
really enjoy the first 45 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I really do.
I almost never put it on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Socially, of course.
Yes. What was I going to say? Oh! There's no henchman. Really?
Dent is kind of a henchman.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but they hadn't really established that until the
Yeah.
next film.
The quirky sort of henchman.
Yeah.
Although, goddamn, Robert Shaw.
Oh yeah, he's the best.
he's
And then
so
you
good.
go from Robert Shaw to Odd Job.
Yeah. And then
Thunderball's pretty weak
Domino?
as a henchman.
Yeah.
No. Why would
I
you
mean, not
think-
Domino. What's the girl?
Oh
what's the-
yes, but I think of her as like a femme fatale.
Oh, really?
I think the henchman in that is that kind of bald
Xenia
guy.
Onatopp to you is not a henchman?
All right, you have a point.
Is that what you're saying to me?
I don't
Are you
know.
just because
but
they're
Fiona
because
Volpe,
they're
I
a woman?
love her.
Because they're a woman?
Well, I'm giving her a compliment.
Thunderball, by the
She's
way,
classier than that.
is the one I watched the least. Is
Yeah,
the
I don't
one
watch that a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot of underwater stuff, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
we've gotten ahead of ourselves. I didn't ask Paul about the Mayday thing and Paget Brewster, but I will ask him when Live and
yeah.
Let Die comes around.
We have to do that definitely.
Yeah, because that I got to get an answer on that. And then the only thing that I can remember that's because I've read all the books, but they run together, and I think the main difference in the novel and the movie is that Honey Ryder, Ursula Andress, her name is Honey Child Ryder, which she got because her Jamaican maid raised her. I think her parents are killed, and she's kind of like lives in a basement as a child and is like she either has like a book learning education but doesn't have social skills, or it's the other way around. Like she's almost a half-wit, and it makes it kind of weird in the book when he beds her that he's kind of taking advantage of someone with like inferior intelligence.
Wow.
Yeah, and
You just
she
got real dark.
I know, but
I mean,
she
you could see a little bit of that in the film. There's a little bit of that with her getting the shells and her being so cautious of it, and her
In the
just
books,
being
it's
so
like-
excited about it being $50.
in the book she's more of like a Nell. Or she kind of has like a speech problem or something. I can't remember exactly what it is. I promise to research these things a little bit more next time.
But I think this was a great first episode.
Yeah, we did it.
I think that James Bonding, Matt and Matt, is so far
It's bonded.
a success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
We,
bonded and set.
Now, tune in next week. We are actually going to be watching Skyfall.
Let the sky fall, let it crumble.
So if you're listening to this episode and you didn't listen to our episode 0, what we're going to do is we're going to watch each movie, but we're going to go from both ends and meet in the middle at For Your Eyes Only.
We have some wonderful guests lined up. We do not yet have a guest for Skyfall because we've been thinking about it. But
Yeah,
should we
which we're
say
trying.
who some of the guests are we've got lined up?
Sure, yeah.
Well, we know we've got Paget Brewster and probably...
Tom Lennon, Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
Chris Hardwick and Paget are probably going to both be on the same episode talking about A View to a Kill. That's their favorite.
They're both very passionate about that. Paul Scheer is going to be
Paul Scheer
doing...
wants to do On Her Majesty's
Yeah.
Secret Service.
Thomas Lennon wants For Your Eyes Only.
Correct.
Paul will be back for Live and Let Die.
Yes.
But we have some other people in mind, and we're starting to... We really haven't done much administrative work on this podcast
No.
yet, so that's part of the reason.
I think the reason we both agreed to do this podcast is because we didn't really have to do that much work on
Yeah,
it.
it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice
Yeah.
thing. So it'll be a surprise who our guest is for Skyfall.
Yeah, we haven't quite booked that yet, so tune in next week.
Probably, 90% chance is Daniel Craig, I think.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, we're tight. He and I.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that about.
No.
We did a scene together.
I would think I'd know that because he and I are so tight.
Oh,
Like,
you never
why have we
mentioned-
not in a mutual capacity? I
What
don't
if
know.
he doesn't know either of our last names?
He thinks
And
we're the
just
same
takes
person.
comfort in the fact that we're both named Matt.
That's fair enough. See you next time.
On James Bonding.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.